Hi, my name is Brian. It's Valentine's Day 2023. This is a video for the Secreted Treasure Hunt. It's a consideration for a salve. The detailed salves that list the literal locations you can find on other videos or on 12 Treasures or PB Works. It seems like they've worked out the exact spots for each verse line. It just seems that people differ in where the location is. And I'm going off of how Boston was solved. You can watch videos of JJP for how to solve Boston. This was the next image. JJP mentions that after on Josh Gates Tonight, Season 1, Episode 16, he mentions this was the fourth painting that he made, and they were solved in order of how he painted it and in order of difficulty. He mentions that on Josh Gates Tonight. Said it raised the hair up on his arms. So I tried to look at this the way he mentions Boston is looked at. And to do that, I noticed that this whole, if you go through the salve, you realize they bring up a bunch of milestones first, which are milestones. This image is dominated by stone. There's a weight, a plumb bob holding down this creature on his leg, and a consideration for flight is weight. You can see all these things being held down by gravity. The keys, the bells are all dangling. Consideration for weight, the English unit for weight is the stone. You can see in stone what looks like a tombstone. Milestone also is called a stone marker if you look at the definition. So when you're looking at the flower, the white carnation for the English means a mother's love for Valentine's Day. It's appropriate. You see the heart key, heart in the wall. So I feel you're looking for a clue for a mother, or it looks like a stone marker that might look like a tombstone. And I already know from other people's work that you have the Virginia Dare stone, and also in the verse lines you see in July and August, and there it is on top of this stone. Virginia Dare was the first English baby born in Americas, and Ananias Dare was her father. And this is what bothered me. Eleanor White. Why is she Eleanor White and not Eleanor Dare? And it's almost like a chauvinistic thing. Is what I consider. They wanted to add the weight of her through her father, John White, who was the colony governor. To me, it was like a chauvinistic way. She should have been listed as Eleanor Dare, and I do believe that was what Byron was getting at. The backstory with Wizard of Oz, it has a literal reason to be there for Washington Bound Bridge, and you have the Dark Force, which is on a plaque in Elizabethan Gardens. You learn this through other people's video and what everybody else worked up. They're just area identifiers, but if you go through the figurative backstory, the Oz and Dark Forest, the road to was the courage scene with a cowardly lion and lions and tigers and bears in the litany of the jewel. You can see that for the English, the garnet, they bear the garnet, and I thought that might be a connecting hint. So that was the courage scene, and as well as the Dauntless saying. That was a Churchill saying for courage, and it referenced the British line of days gone by. And you can find that, there's locations that was on the Wright Brothers Memorial, but it was spelled different, unconquerable, and that says inconquerable. So to me, the white, it says color in white, was a clue to the mother's love, Eleanor White, which should have been Eleanor Dare. So courage and Dauntless and Dare are all interchangeable, and that's why I believe this is the location. And the knight points to the right. I believe that's the clue. And the distance you can determine for yourself. Is it 4 inches or is it 3 bounds to the right? You can see that character is floating to the right as well, the knight. And another consideration for this story is I live just a few minutes from where L. Frank Baum grew up, and I worked in England, if I didn't mention that. The good wits floated in on that, a bubble that looked like that, and L. Frank Baum married into a family where his mother-in-law was, I don't know if they call it suffragette. She was a feminist and world famous and very influential. And he tried to put that in elements of his stories. And if you see, at least in the movie The Wizard of Oz, the ending, The Good Witch, when Dorothy was, sad she missed the balloon and she'd never get home, and the Good Witch says, "You've had the power within you all along." I feel that this could be a feminist element, seeing that you're pointing in clues to the Elizabethan gardens, and the English had a very powerful female figure as a queen, and Frank Baum made Dorothy a powerful figure, and Eleanore Dare was probably powerful in her own right, but chauvinism back in 1896 decided that she had more weight as her maiden name to connect her to her father. It made me feel as though this image could be an image of chauvinism, saying that chivalry was, in a way, back in the culture of back then, to protect the weaker sex, as they considered it. And this image here of a knight, the chivalry image, is actually not a benign looking knight. It looks pretty looks like a henchman for a fantasy story. So this could be, in modern terms, a symbol of toxic masculinity. Like I said in the beginning, the milestones that are listed in 1896, the feminist movement still had a long way to go to overcome things and achieve their milestone. And that's what I believe the overall theme is that is a image of toxic masculinity. And you're given backstories of Eleanor Dare, Queen Elizabeth, and Dorothy, strong backstory characters. That's my theory. Thank you.